You know, they say that buying your first home is a bit like having your first child. You're never quite prepared for all the messes you're going to have to clean up. Now, I'm not one to shy away from a challenge, but when I bought my first house, let me tell you, I wasn't expecting to become an impromptu plumber. I was so over the moon with the vintage charm of the place, I overlooked the importance of a good home inspection, and boy did I pay for it. I came home one day, only to find myself the proud owner of an indoor pool, courtesy of a leaky roof, and a basement that fancied itself a public swimming facility. I mean, who wouldn't want an indoor pool, right? Except, I didn't exactly plan for it to be in the basement. So there I was with a snorkel and a mop thinking, well, this isn't quite the housewarming party I'd imagined. Let me tell you, if there's one thing I learned from my impromptu diving adventure, it's the importance of a thorough home inspection. Now you might be thinking, a diving adventure during a home inspection? How's that even possible? Well, my dear friends, let me introduce you to the world of home buying, where the unexpected becomes the norm. Picture this. I was in the middle of my first home purchase, thrilled to bits about the charming old cottage. The place was full of character, or so I thought. The home inspector, a wise chap with a knack for spotting problems, was ambling around the house, while I was busy daydreaming about the cozy winter evenings by the fireplace. Suddenly, the chap's face turned ashen. He'd found a hidden indoor pool. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. What he had actually discovered was a massive leak in the bathroom, which had turned the basement into a makeshift swimming pool. Now, I'm all for multifunctional spaces, but a basement-cum-swimming pool was not quite what I had in mind. That home inspection was a revelation, a stark reminder of the hidden issues lurking beneath the surface of a seemingly perfect home. It made me realize that a home inspection is not just about checking off things on a list. It's about safeguarding your investment and ensuring that your dream home doesn't turn into a nightmare. Take, for instance, the case of the hidden mold. It's a sneaky little thing, hiding behind the walls, silently causing havoc. Without a thorough home inspection, you might end up buying a house that's a breeding ground for mold, leading to health issues and costly repairs down the line. So whether it's a hidden leaky bathroom, a faulty electrical system, or a sneaky mold invasion, a home inspection can reveal all these potential issues and more. It gives you a clear picture of what you're getting into and helps you avoid nasty surprises after you've made the purchase. So remember, a home inspection is not a tick box exercise. It's your future snorkeling prevention plan. Now, let's talk about money, or rather, the lack thereof after you've bought your first home. In the grand adventure of home buying, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement and dream of the perfect nest. But my dear listeners, let's remember that even the most charming of cottages comes with a price tag. And let's not forget the infamous hidden costs that can sneak up on you like a crafty fox. First, let's consider repairs. It's easy to underestimate the cost of fixing up a place. You might think, a lick of paint here, a new doorknob there, how bad can it be? Well, let me tell you, it can be like feeding a family of hungry ducks. Just when you think you've satisfied them, they're back for more. That leaky roof, the creaky floorboards, the outdated wiring, they all add up quicker than you can say bankruptcy. And then come the ongoing costs. It's like having a pet, but instead of food and vet bills, you've got property tax and home insurance, and this pet doesn't cuddle. Property tax is a sneaky beast creeping up on you every year. And home insurance? It's not optional, it's a must. It's like an umbrella on a rainy day. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Finally, let's not overlook the cost of basic utilities. You might be thrilled about your new abode, but trust me, the charm quickly fades when you're taking cold showers because you forgot to account for the gas bill. Remember, buying a house isn't just about the upfront cost. It's about the whole package, the long-term commitment. It's like adopting a new member into your family, and you wouldn't just feed them once and forget about them, would you? So keep your pennies counted, and remember that a house is not just a one-time purchase, it's a lifelong investment. Ever heard the saying, location, location, location? Well, they weren't just referring to the nearest pub. Now let's chat about the location loophole. It's easy to get swept away by a charming house with a stunning garden, a cozy fireplace, or a kitchen straight out of a glossy magazine. But hold your horses. The location of your new home is as vital as its features. You see, you might adore the idea of living in a quaint countryside cottage, but if it takes you 2 hours to commute to work, you might soon find yourself less fond of those rolling hills and more acquainted with your car's interior. And believe me, there's nothing romantic about traffic jams at the crack of dawn. And it's not just about your commute. If you have children or are planning to have some in the future, you'll need to consider the local school catchment area. A house might be a steal, but if it's in a town with underperforming schools, you might end up paying more in the long run for private education or moving yet again. Then there's the question of local amenities. It's all well and good living in a secluded spot, but when you run out of milk and the nearest shop is a half-hour drive away, you might start to question your choices. Not to mention, if you're someone who enjoys a bustling social scene, you may feel isolated in a remote location. And let's not forget about the future. Even if you're not planning to sell anytime soon, it's always wise to think about the resale value. Homes in desirable locations tend to hold their value better and sell quicker when the time comes. So, before you sign on the dotted line, make sure you've thoroughly researched the location. Visit at different times of the day, talk to locals, check out the schools, and assess the amenities. Remember, you're not just buying a house, you're buying into a community. So don't just fall in love with the house, make sure you're smitten with the location too. Buying a house is a bit like falling in love. It's easy to get swept up in the romance and ignore the red flags. Now let's take a minute to picture this. You've been tirelessly house hunting for weeks, maybe even months. Then you walk into this one house and instantly you're smitten. The high ceilings, the charming garden, the cozy fireplace. It's the stuff of your dreams. You're ready to sign the dotted line right then and there. But hold on, let's pump the brakes a bit. Buying a house isn't like picking out a new pair of shoes or even a car. It's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. It's not just about finding a place that makes your heart flutter. It's about finding a place that suits your lifestyle, your budget, and your future plans. Let me share a bit of my own journey with you. I fell head over heels for a quaint little cottage on the outskirts of Leeds. It was love at first sight. I could already picture myself sipping tea in the garden, hosting dinner parties in the dining room. But, swept up in the excitement, I overlooked some crucial details. The commute to work was a nightmare, the maintenance costs were through the roof, and don't even get me started on the plumbing issues. I learned the hard way that buying a house based purely on emotion can lead to some pretty hefty regrets. But the silver lining is that I can now pass on my wisdom to you. Before you get swept away by a property's charm, take a step back, look at it objectively, consider the long-term implications, think about the practicality of the house, the location, the cost, and the potential for growth. Seek advice from professionals. Remember, a house is not just a home, it's an investment. So, take your time, use your head, not just your heart, and make sure it's a match made in housing heaven. So, there you have it, my pearls of wisdom from the School of Hard Knocks. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of home inspections, unearthing those pesky hidden issues that could turn your dream home into a nightmare. We've ventured into the wild realm of budgeting, highlighting the importance of keeping a tight grip on your purse strings and not letting unexpected costs sneak up on you. We've explored the significance of location because, let's face it, not all that glitters is gold. And finally, we dove into the emotional ocean of home buying, reminding you that while love at first sight might be great for romance novels, it's not always the best approach when purchasing your first home. Remember, buying your first home doesn't have to feel like swimming in the deep end, as long as you avoid these common mistakes. Until next time, keep your snorkels at bay and your mops in the cupboard.